Hello everybody, welcome back to An Italian in My Kitchen. I am Erica, and you know, it's January, which means it's very cold. As I look outside, I can see a lot of snow. It's been snowing basically the whole morning, and I thought, why not make an amazing comfort food, but an Italian version, because we have a recipe on the blog that my grandmother used to make and my mom makes often as well, and it's this amazing prosciutto and bean soup. So if you're not familiar with that, it might sound very strange, but it is so delicious, and it's just really good. And I guess it's like an Italian version of a shepherd's pie, maybe, or a stew. Yeah, let's compare it to a stew since it's a soup, and it's just very good. So I thought, why not make this recipe together, and then you could add this new soup to your collection of soups, and you might find that it's really good and it becomes one of your favorites. It is one of mine. It just reminds me of my grandmother a lot, so I thought I would share it as a video as well. We already have it on the blog. I'll link the recipe in the description box below so you can go and read it and follow the instructions that way as well, but I will also share step by step in this video how to make it. So I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, let's go make our prosciutto and bean soup. So first of all, we're going to take a medium pot, and in this pot we're going to add 2 cups of cubed prosciutto, which I chopped myself, but I'll tell you my secret. So basically I went to a grocery store and I went to the cold cuts section where they cut it for you, and what's it called? Butcher section? Well, I guess the cold cut section in the store, and I asked about getting a piece of prosciutto, and it did sound weird to people at first when I asked, not for slices but for quite a chunk of prosciutto. So they cut about 2 inches of prosciutto for me, and so it was like a big, instead of being like thin slices, it was like a 2-inch big chunk of the prosciutto, and then I did cube it myself. So that's what I ended up doing. I cut it myself, and actually one of the girls that was there, when she saw the big slice of prosciutto that they cut for me, she did ask me why I needed that, and so I did end up saying like it was for a soup, but they were a little bit confused, like, why do you need such a big slice? Which makes sense if you're not familiar with this kind of soup, or you know, with making recipes just like this with prosciutto. So yeah, so that is my story and a tip. So if you need prosciutto for this recipe, just go to the store, and yeah, a 2-inch big slice of prosciutto will definitely do it for you, and it is about 2 cups of prosciutto chopped. So in this medium pot, we're gonna add 2 cups of prosciutto cubed, and we're just gonna fill the pot with water just until it covers the prosciutto. This is done to remove the salt from the prosciutto, or as much salt as possible, because if we keep it like that, it's going to be a very salty soup. And you know, my grandmother used to love her salt. Like, I mean, she made salty and thick soups which were amazing. Like, it was salty in the best way possible, and I kind of would love to remake it exactly like that. So we are going to try and keep the salt ratio perfect, or as perfect as she made it. Who needs electrolytes when you can have prosciutto in your soup, right? No, I'm joking, but still, drink your electrolytes and have this soup. It's really good. And we're going to cook it on medium heat for approximately 10 minutes. And now we're going to drain our prosciutto. So then we're going to take a big pot, and we're going to add all the ingredients in here. So it's a very quick recipe because all the ingredients go in one pot. Super easy, super quick to make. We're gonna start by adding 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 or 2 cloves of garlic that's been chopped, 2 cups of tomato puree, also known as passata, 3 cups of water, or you could add half water, half broth. But I like to add all water just because if you add also the broth, it might become too salty. Consider how salty your prosciutto is and go from there, but I'm just gonna use the water. So 3 cups of water. And then we're gonna add our spices. So 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of basil, and 1 or 2 pinches of hot pepper flakes, plus 1 or 2 pinches of salt. And then we're going to add our 2 cups of prosciutto. Careful, it splashes all over the place. And then 2 cups of dried beans. I used dry beans, so I let them soak for about 8 to 12 hours or overnight in water. So then from, very dry beans, they become nice and plump. And then I drain them. And now we're just gonna add them like this into our soup. Stir everything together, and then we'll transfer the pot on top of the stove and bring it to a boil. And at this point, when it starts to boil, lower the heat and let it simmer until the beans are soft and the soup has thickened. If you need, you can add more water if you feel like it's getting too thick too fast. A perfect day for soup. See what I mean with cozy comfort food? This is going to be Canada for the next 2 months at least. So we need all the soup that we can get and all the comfort food that we can get. Okay, so here we have our soup. I already showed you what's inside. I can't really tilt it because it's going to spill and we don't want that. And the beans are nice and soft now. It's thickened up. I did add some more water to it just because the beans weren't done yet and the soup was getting too thick for my likings at least. The salt content is perfect. I didn't need to add any more salt than I already had when I showed you. It smelled amazing. It was smelling amazing from the beginning since I started cooking it. And now all is left to do is really to taste it. So let's do it. Buon appetito. It's so good. It reminds me so much of my childhood and it's just such a cozy dish. So good. I'm really glad that I decided to make this recipe, especially today because the weather just calls for that. It's still snowing, still going strong, and the weather plus this nice bowl of soup just hits the spot, it's perfect. It just feels like the perfect winter cozy meal to have. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you make it, let me know what you think of it. And as always, you'll find all the ingredients, links, and measurements in the description box. Comment below and let me know what you think, or tag us at An Italian in My Kitchen on social media if you make it and you take a photo of it and you want to share it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. I need to go and eat this now.